Oh, we got another intense one going on for today. Looks like we had official announcements on that ADA Lovelace, guys. So before any ado, let's dig in, guys. Yo. Yo, crypto nation and mining family, what's going on out there? Another glorious day with absolutely no mining profits. Once again, yay, right guys? Yo, smash that like button for you got no profits on your mining too, guys. Yo. What's going on? What's up? What's up? I see we got Jason the Dagger Osborne dropping that F. What's going on, my man? We got Crypto Crag with the yo-yo and the F. What's going on, all you awesome, happy hashers out there? Well, maybe not so happy now, but let's get into some of the stuff for today as you guys start rolling on in. It was a great thing that it was nice to have Red Panda show me a little bit of love and featured me right towards the end of his stream. A few people came over. It was fun. Hopefully we can keep that momentum going today, guys. Yo. So if you guys didn't catch it from this morning, because you guys work a normal job like most people, it's like weirdly the 3080 is still making 21 cents per day. I am not mining it though. My full farm is off. Woo! Yeah. You'll be like you'll see. It's like, okay, I'm spending 35 cents, and I'm making 35. I'm making 70 cents. It's like, is it worth it? The only reason why my farm is still on is to keep my power load up. I got to keep a certain percentage power load on the system, and I'm able to keep my power rate infinitely low. So for me, that's completely worth it at this point, right? What's up, Peter? What's going on, my Viking? Yo. I take it you are land bound. You are landlocked right now. That's usually when I see you popping on, is when you're back at home. What's going on, my Viking buddy? Yo, one of these days we've got to have another meetup and get your butt back out here, man. It was so much fun to have you out here. I'm just saying, guys. It's like, yes, sir, I am. Well, glad that you made another safe and successful journey. Yo! If you guys don't realize it, Peter Stein is a personal friend of mine. We've hung out before, and he comes from the land of Vikings. And he actually ventured all the way to here to the United States to do a Bitcoin meetup, not once but twice. And the man is like this big giant teddy bear. I love that man. That man is awesome. No homo. I love him. Hell of a good time. Yes, it was. I even had him here at my house. He's one of the very few people in this community that's actually ventured their way to my house. I'm very selective, guys, so don't think of it as the norm. It is of rare occasions. There is Nefarious that's been here. There's Peter that's been here. But came here because he's not even from this country. I will definitely let that man crash on my couch. And then Tech Sinji. Very, very few people have actually been to my house. And I'll keep it that way, only because, safety reasons and shit like that. I don't want people just randomly coming to my house. But it was fun having them here, hanging out. Would love to have that happen again. One of these days, we'll have to set something up, get you out here. It'll be awesome. and even get that mine and hodl guy out from the islands onto mainland, and to a Bitcoin meetup out here with his aloha. What's going on, mine and hodl? Crypto Craig is like, oh, the Caspa. Yeah. I've been hearing people getting a little bit of profits. It's not a whole lot, but I'm not worried about profits right now. I've been telling people it's gonna be. I tried prepping everybody. It's gonna be a minimum of 2 months, I think, before, because it's a double whammy. We have the bear market in pricing, and then we got the bear market in mining. Two perfect little storms just hit together. This is gonna take a hot second to walk away from, guys. So, I mean, there's probably going to be a lot of people like myself that are going, I can handle a couple of months with no profit. It'll suck. But for me, I got an alternative reason. I'm not caring that I'm not profitable right now. I was expecting all that shit. I need my electric rate to get down. And until then, I got to keep everything on because I got to get my load average up a little higher. I'm like fucking almost there. Almost fucking there. So all I gotta do, I'm waiting for my landlord to get to finish packing up her stuff. As soon as that happens, I will I'll be able to set up a whole nother rack, put in my Bitcoin ASICs, plus our first customer's worth of stuff in our facility. Once I have all that up and running, oh yeah, we will have the load average required to get the kilowatt hour down to where I need it to be, so that all of you guys can come in and have some fun. Oh yeah. It's like 1.2%. So dumb. I know. We're like fucking right there. Ugh. So dumb. So dumb. I will 100% agree with that one, Mikkel. For anybody who's new here, Mikkel is my business partner. We are 1.2% away from our electric rate dropping to where we need it to be. I have to keep everything on. But as soon as we get the other side of the facility open, I've got Bitcoin ASICs. I have enough equipment to push us over. We've probably got enough equipment there to give us a ballpark doubling from where we're at right now. So we should be good. We should be good. But let's go ahead and get into it. As you see, more notes. You know, I did some research when I have notes, guys. As the title says, Nvidia did their ADA Lovelace announcement this morning. I sat there while working out. You got to DCA into your own fitness. You got to make sure the machine is in good shape. So I was sitting there working out all morning, listening to this, taking some notes. I'll be like, oh, pause that. I'll take some notes. So through me sitting there working out, listening to it, I listened to it a couple of times just to make sure that I was absorbing the knowledge that was in there. I mean, granted, a lot of these presentations, they're going to be part sales, part new information drops, right? So we've seen what these leaks of what they look like, right? Some of the AIB partners are a little bit more of interest than others. There's some cool looking ones where they got 3 fans on front and 1 fan on the back to cool down the PCB. God knows if that stuff's going to stay there for final development, or are these going to be just more like show pieces. I would like to get my hands on one of these show pieces for sure, just because they're usually unique enough that they will hold a little bit of a different value because they're more on the collector side, because it's going to be a really small batch of them being made like that. So that's what I'm going to be looking for coming out. I always like to, if I'm going to collect GPUs, I'm going to collect some of them that are also on the rarer side. Just because even if mining falls apart, those obscure GPUs will still hold value even a few years later, guys. No, my green screen option is not on, Mikkel. It shouldn't be. Usually you'll see it in the in my doors, my front doors over here. So these two guys here, usually you'll see the green screen if it's like activating at all. So no, I shouldn't have it on at all. So, but back into this. So we got the speech this morning. It's hard to tell if Jensen if that was actually him in front of a green screen, or if he was, if that was the digital representation of him. It was really hard to tell. The last time during the last announcement that he gave, that they had an AI version of himself giving parts of the speech, and it was you had to like really get in there to really look at it. And it was even harder to tell because they only broadcast it in 1080p. If they gave me 1440p or higher, I would have been able to see the hair detail or something like that. I mean, it was just really hard to tell if that was him or not. If it was, cool, I like the background. If not, man, their AI development is fucking top notch. If that was fake. That was just my little notice that right as it started off, I was like, wow, but whatever, if it was if that was actually him, man, fucking awesome. Vincent, lots of AI ML enhancements. How much of this is going to really translate to mining hash rate? Small biz on the cut down 3080 as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, Vince. We'll get into some of that, my man, for sure. So there's going to be some with all of this that was coming out was going to be the Omniverse engine, where they were showing off this Racer X program where it was like a fully immersive 3D universe, something that you probably wouldn't be able to get your hands on. And then it's also got its best performance with high-end CPUs. Under CPU load, their GPUs are supposed to be able to help out with some of the stuff from the CPU side. We'll have to see if any of these game developers take advantage of the Omniverse engine. But of course, we have on the cores themselves. They're going to be this is going to be for the 4090 series. So 76 billion transistors. It's going to be on the 4 nanometer tech. Equipped with the GDDR6X memory modules. I would still like to know what I gotta find out one of these days. I gotta go find out the difference of what is the standard for GDDR6 and the 6X. If anybody has any information on that, certainly DM me in Discord, link down below if you're new here. I would love to be able to find some of this information. They've got the new shaders that are being used on this, with new streaming multi-pass processors, 90 shader flops, 2 times the efficiencies. And this is also going to allow for reordering for ray tracing performance. Instead of trying to ray trace everything all out, now they're going to group in things that are going to be like each other, and it's going to kind of speed up the efficiency. So it should actually make some of the ray tracing a little bit more snappy. I still don't play with the ray tracing on majority of the time because you take such a frame rate hit. I'd be curious to see if with the new 40 series being on 3rd gen ray tracing, with 200 ray tracing flops, 2 times the ray tracing intersectors. So I mean, and it's like with the new Omniverse, on top of this, we're going to see map engine speed up, ray tracing, map speed up on ray tracing geometry by 2 times gains. Micro meshed engines gives better depth without being a big hardware tax. Now that one is pretty nice, because as far as second gen ray tracing, as soon as you put the ray tracing on, it taxes the GPU pretty heavily. You can see the utilization just kind of pings it, right? And you almost want to be on the higher end, 3080 or higher, with especially on the second gen ray tracing. Otherwise, it's almost better to just permanently keep that option off and just play in 1080p. I try to play. I've got a 3080 Ti. Ray tracing looks pretty decent. It is hard. Now, who the hell is here? Hold on one second, guys. I don't remember his name. Horrible at names. So, sorry about that, guys. One of the neighborhood kiddos, gotta take. It's always nice to be good to the neighborhood kids, because it takes a community to raise a child. So, good influences on some of the neighborhood children goes a long way in my book. So. Surprise visit from Red Panda. Oh God, bro. If that were to happen, I might actually have a heart attack if that were to happen. I'm just saying. They're trying to get data centers to swap off the 10 series hardware, because because it's not so good, and after all, they're trying to get these data centers off of the 1080 Ti's, because the 1080 Ti's are fucking king right now, guys. Data centers me and Mikkel know people in the industry, and a lot of these data centers are still just littered with just massive amounts of 1080 Ti's. Why do they go after the 1080 Ti's? Because for what they're looking for, it has everything they need. Right? And they've tried the 20 series, and it was junk. Could not keep up with the AI on there. Third gen, I think some of them started using some of the third gen stuff because it was like starting to turn around. But I think a lot of these data centers are still really heavily on the 10 series. So and most of them are 1080 Ti's of various flavors. I would be curious to see if what Mikkel is saying here is if they were to actually get them to switch over to the 40 series with the advancement in the SoC chip that's in there with the AI development inside of it. So these things, these newer GPUs might be able to keep up with what they're trying to do, guys. Especially with the deep learning cores that they've got in here, and this kind of segues right into it. That's why I caught the comment, and I'm just going to segue right into this next point. Develop deep learning 4th gen cores, 1400 tensor flops, optical flow accelerator. This has the brand new Hopper engine in there. This will help them like CAD design, computer workflows, and machinery workflows. So they're going to be able to put more inputs into these things and be able to control more automation with any kind of manufacturing of any sort. This will actually be really beneficial. It may put people out of business, or not out of business. It may put people out of work because now why have why have a few people trying to reprogram a bunch of computers? Well, now I can have one computer programmer just program all the machines out there at once, and we just have a few mechanics on hand and people to actually watch the workflow happen. So it really kind of helps with the automation process in big manufacturing. To a smaller manufacturing facility, it's not going to make much of a difference to them with that aspect of it. It's going to be cool to see how the optical flow accelerator will work with their deep learning. Is this something that will be beneficial in mining? No, this is not where we play with. We play with the VGA core in the memory. We're just trying to figure out workloads, doing simple mathematical calculations at a blinding speed, right? Milliseconds. We're doing a bunch of mathematical stuff on there, right? So with the shader execution reordering, now this is going to help out with like a lot of games. So this is some of the reasons why I cover some of this stuff too myself. Is that I'm a gamer at the end of the day. It's like I work on hot rods, and I'll work anything with an engine. I'll work on it. And I love playing with the mining stuff, and I'm a gamer. So this kind of hits in with the gaming side of it. It's like that's why I have my other channel, which is Crypto and Hot Rods Gaming, where I do a lot of sim racing. Which I will be doing an upgrade to my computer here to get me more PCIe lane coverage. I'm actually going to be upgrading to now I'm on the 1900X Threadripper. I'll be upgrading to the 1950X Threadripper, which is the last of the first gen. It'll be a big improvement from where I'm at. But back to this. So the shader execution reordering will allow for GPU resources like MEM to be utilized more efficiently. Instead of reordering all at once, like how it's been being done, they when they do the ray tracing, all the shaders get just kind of blocked together and it prints it. Boom, boom, right? So now they're going to be allowing a readiness. So what can be done first? Whether it's going to be rendering the harder things first and then going down to the easiest things, just so that everything is being done in sections. Versus this over here, this over here, this over here. Now it's just going to should speed it up by about a 2 to 3 times gain performance in ray tracing. 25% gain in gaming performance overall. So with the shader rendering, now I would like to see how much of a hit it is with the ray tracing on, but I'm sure with the ray tracing off, you're going to get a few more frames per second. Now for standard gamers that you get off of work at the end of the day, you're having some fun, you're not going to worry about it as much. Now you get into some of the competitive guys, they're the ones that are going to be looking at this, because they're going to be like, okay, I don't care how well it reflects back at me. I just want to know, bottom line, what's my performance gain? How many more frames per second? Because if you think about it, most people, you don't really think about it too much. But if I've got a doorway that's opened up, let's say 1 foot, right? And I'm sitting in there and I'm in the dark, squatting down. I'm waiting for somebody to come by that door. Now, if I'm getting 30 frames per second in that 1 foot, I might get 4 frames to shoot them, right? I'm just kind of ballparking, and it's not absolute numbers, right? So now I deal with somebody who's got 120 frames per second. Now he might have, let's say, 12 frames to shoot, right? Instead of my 4. So he's got more opportunity to pull the trigger before the enemy walks off the screen. So if I'm going at it like that, my 3080, my 3080 Ti, I'll get anywhere like right around 140 frames per second, right? So let's say I get I don't know, let's say 20 frames in that 1 foot. So I got 20 opportunities to shoot somebody. In competitive gaming, that means a lot, because you got to remember, for whatever you're using, a mouse and a keyboard, a controller in your hand, there's that impulse that goes from your brain to your finger, brain to to move or something like that. And if you've got more opportunity to be able to be competitive, you're going to be able to pull that trigger first. If you ever wonder how it is that you look at somebody and they pop first, they might have more frames per second and they shot 2 frames before you pulled the trigger, even though you two more than likely identically shot at the same time, but he had more opportunity, so he won. It's one of the drawbacks whenever you're dealing with competitive gamers. They will always pull the trigger first because they got the high-end stuff, and these are the same people who are going to be buying this 3090 as soon as it drops. I mean, as soon as it drops, they will be out there buying these things all up, and then you'll see some more 3090s hit the market. You're going to see more 3080s hit the market, because you're going to see those people who, I've got to have the best stuff, they're going to run out and grab this stuff. They've been waiting for this. And that's really a small subset of people, ultimately. I mean, there's enough of them out there, but I call them early adopters. They can deal with all the pains and stuff like that, especially with some of the stuff that Nvidia is actually pulling, the stunts that they're pulling now. It might be that they're getting the Apple big head over there, but we will have to see. Now they're also on 3rd gen DLSS, the deep learning super sampling. If you guys didn't know, this is where the AI prediction comes in. And this also ties in with the shader execution reordering, because before all of this, the DLSS was doing everything pixel by pixel, taking a low-res base layer and then putting it on top, and then trying to guess where it's going to be from the previous frame's high resolution. So we have a very inefficient way of looking at that. That was the 2nd gen DLSS way of doing it. With the 3rd gen, now it does the whole frame prediction instead of pixel by pixel, to increase the speed on there. This should help alleviate a lot of the frames per second loss through ray tracing being turned on. That's what I'm actually most excited about. And on top of that, the one drawback on that too is not a lot of games are really taking advantage of it. So this is still relatively early technology. It'll probably be a couple of more generations of this coming through before a lot of the games just start natively adapting this into their gaming code, where they're already thinking about how everything is going to. For right now, even on the coder side for the game development, this is still relatively new technology. They're trying to figure out how they can put this in and get it implemented more efficiently, because otherwise, even the game coders, they've got to go do this all individually, figure out what zones are going to be reflective, and then ray trace it. Very inefficient way of doing it, I think, still from the developer end of it. So that's why I don't think we see full adoption throughout all the games quite yet. I think it'll be soon. I think soon we'll be seeing the point where they will be natively utilizing all the stuff, and I think the ray tracing at that point will look amazing. We'll see more natural surfaces with reflectivity on there, light bouncing in the right way, the light even starbursting in the right way. They showed through the presentation some of the areas of where they've improved with the ray tracing, and they were showing like glares and stuff like that, and the glare was actually textured a lot better, and they were saying that a lot of that's due to the deep sample, the DLSS engine being a lot better. It's putting the textures in properly. So from a gaming perspective, that is awesome, right? So they tried to show how it looks, but since Nvidia only put out to 1080p, you would think a big company like this could do 4K output, which would allow me on my 2K monitor to open it up on my screen and actually look at everything that they had going on. It would have looked better on my screen. But 1080p at 144 hertz or 1080p at 60 hertz, it didn't matter what monitor I put it on, they look relatively the same on each one. So I wish they would have been able to output a little bit better so that I could see what was going on. I'm sure it looked a lot cooler in person, maybe not, because most places are, as everybody knows, most places are using 1080p as the standard still. Not too many people are on 4K, period. 8K is just ungodly expensive. But 4K, most people aren't there. 2K is just starting to see people switch over to it, like myself, where I've still got two, 1080p monitors to my left and right here. My only 1440p monitor is right in front of me. So I wish they would have taken more. No, I'm live streaming right now. So they were also showing off games like Portal. Now I'm a Portal fan. I love my Portal game. It's a cool game. They were showing with the RTX mod on there. Looked cool but it was a remaster on there. The Omniverse is the mod that helps render the objects, give it a little bit more accuracy, has the proper texture. This will be something that you might even see implemented into Minecraft, give more texture into Minecraft. The new ray tracing cores will also work in virtual reality, guys. So that's actually a pretty big announcement, that if it worked good enough to be able to use VR headsets. So that's actually kind of cool, because that's where you're going to want the immersion. And this also helps with the metaverse stuff that they're going to be adapting for here. Everybody's going to be getting ready for metaverse. Not that I care too much about it. It is confirmed that ADA Lovelace GPUs for the 3090 got over 3 gigahertz on its core. So that's a big thing. That makes me go, how is this fucker gonna mine now, right? That's the big question. How are these ADA Lovelace GPUs gonna mine? Especially, if you're talking, a good sample being able to get over 3 gigahertz and hit it, I would say this will probably hit 2.8, 2.9 gigahertz and hold, which I think that'll give us about I want to say a 25 to a 30% performance bump over the 3090. So the 4090 to 3090. So the 4090 will be, about a 25 to a 30% bump in performance and hash rate. But it's at what wattage, right? That's going to be what we'll have to see. I have some things that concern me with the new GPUs. They've got a 450 watt target, but what about the spiking? I've already taken out power supplies because the 30 series spikes. How badly is this 40 series going to spike? How often are they going to spike? And how sustained is that spike? And if you're running a 1200 watt power supply and this thing asks for, let's say 800 watts, and you've got a water block system on there, power supply, fan. You got all this other peripherals that are on. You're running RGB. Now you're going to pop power supply because this thing had a power spike. There are concerns with these new GPUs. I hope that they can get it under control a little bit without taking a huge hit in performance. I'm interested on what AMD's announcement that's going to be at the end of this month is going to be, and I'm going to cover that too with you guys. So stay tuned with that. So the 4090 confirmed launch date October 12th. Confirmed. MSRP $1599. So the Founders Editions will be launched at right around that $1599. Everybody else will be about $300 to $400 higher, depending on which series. Specialty series will be over $2,000 guaranteed. But your low-end to mid-range 4090s are going to be between $300 and $400. I would say $300 to $500 higher than MSRP, which is where Nvidia themselves are going to be selling their GPUs at, undercutting all the AIB partners. And we'll have to see in how much longer Nvidia has AIB partners before they're all like, why are we selling it if you are undercutting us? You're not leaving anything on the table if everybody wants your stuff before they even get to ours. And if you guys keep increasing your output on there, there's less room on the table for us. Basically, it's almost like being anti-consumer, but I digress. The 4080 will be launching in November. They will have two flavors, okay? 16 gigabyte, which that will also have the higher bus width for the memory. And then a 12 gigabyte, which will definitely be I think it's 50... I think it's like, I forget exactly where they were. I actually had it on another set of notes, and I don't have that in front of me. Yo, Vito. It's like I left my on the table and metallic chopped off. Ouch. Yo. Lovelace. At least it won't choke. Yeah. So the 16 gigabyte is going to be MSRP'd at $1199. The 12 gigabyte will be $899. I wonder how much they're going to have to flood the market with the 30 series in order to make people want to get up and get these ones instead. Because if you've got 30 series on there, if the 30 series stays at the current prices that they're at, and you start seeing Founders Editions coming out at these MSRP pricings, it's over for the 30 series. I mean, for the most part. Why? If I can sit there for, if I'm looking at a $900 3080, right? And I can get a brand new 4080, 12 gigabyte, because, you know, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. It's $899, so I'd be walking out of there $1,000. So 900 to 900, you know. Why would I want to buy a 3080 if I can get a 4080? So the pricing on the 30 series is going to have to come back down. And this is where I was there telling everybody, don't buy GPUs quite yet, guys. Don't do it. I see Red Panda keeps buying them, and I'm like, I know you want it. You have a GPU addiction, but man, your GPU addiction will go so much further if you wait. But he don't like to listen to GPU Jesus all the time. GPU Jesus might be helping you sometimes. I'm not always telling you guys, shut your rigs off, stop mining, and I'm sitting here going, yes, they turned it all off, and I'm going to buy all their stuff. No, it's not like that at all, guys. So the four, you know, it's like, so we'll have $1199 and $899 GPUs coming out. These are, you know, as of now, are decent pricings if we can find them at there, but none of the AIB partners are going to be at these prices. Again, we're going to be at least $300 higher on AIB partners over MSRP, because they've got research and development, they've got the manufacturing of putting the GPU together, plus they've got to buy the memory, plus they've got to buy the VGA core from Nvidia, right? Where Nvidia, all they've got to do is, what do they have to buy? Oh yeah, all they have to buy is memory. So their overhead is a lot lower, and that's why they're able to undercut all the AIB partners when they develop a Founders Edition, is that they don't have to buy the VGA core because they're producing that in-house. This was something they were going to do no matter what. These VGA cores would have sold no matter how they sliced or diced it. So to me, the MSRP where it's at right now kind of undercuts a lot of the AIB partners. It makes the consumers get kind of angry that the AIB partners are gouging. They're really not. This is Nvidia trying to control the narrative and screwing over their AIB partners, and it's why EVGA dropped them. He's like they got so tired of dealing with the hierarchy of Nvidia. They'll lose more, guys. They will lose more. So with the Omniverse cloud service and cloud rendering and the rendering farms and stuff, they will be doing some of the stuff running on AWS, Amazon Web Service, or it looks like Nvidia themselves is going to be offering a managed service probably for like rendering farms, and then AI development will be cloud service through AWS, and managed services will be done through Nvidia. They didn't really go into too much into that. That's kind of me interpreting some of that. If they've got all the GPUs, it makes sense for them to do a rendering farm. It's just a good business from a GPU standpoint. Running your own rendering farm service would make perfect sense. That's just like, Bitmain makes ASICs so they can mine. Makes perfect sense, right? And then they were, if you guys are looking at some of the AI development stuff, they have debuted the new high-end chip here, the Thor super chip, for self-driving cars, guys. So there's good caveats and bad caveats to this one. So what I like about it is got a lot of AI development in the Thor super chip, and they will be able to do adaptive learning on there. I like that. So if you're doing self-driving cars, this will help all the computers kind of relay to each other, going, react to this situation like this has the best outcome, right? Anything else, crash imminent, right? So you want to make sure that it is about as safe as possible. Only way to do that, though, is that you have to centralize the hell out of that through a supercomputer. So with the supercomputer, you're going to be dealing with centralized systems. This is where it has the dual-edged sword. So in the one hand, this is going to help progress self-driving technology, tracking software, and all of this, right? Again, this is also advancing all of these areas to the point where governments are going to be utilizing this themselves too. So, you'll be driving along the way, and all of a sudden, it's just you're just gonna hear your doors unlock, and it'll just kind of drive you right over to the police station. Sorry, there's been a warrant issued for your arrest. We are now bringing you safely to the nearest police facility. Thank you. Stay calm. You're going to hear that in your car, and you'll be like, what the hell just happened? Like, all I did was come back from a rally. Sorry, that rally was deemed illegal. It's like, oh my God, right? So this brings on the surveillance state. So this is where my issue comes in with all of that stuff with the Thor. And these are the chips. This Thor super chip is the chip that the United States does not want China to have. This is the chip that they banned Nvidia from selling to China. So remember what I was saying, that, it's like they were banning a chip from being sold. This particular chip, this thing will change a lot of different systems out there. This will give adaptive learning in a surveillance state a whole new name. I mean, adaptive learning is only as good as the program that's running on it, right? So if the program doesn't know how to adapt properly to incoming information, it's no good. But thinking that you put the best coders on the planet to do all of this stuff, this would mean a lot. If China were able to get their hands on the Thor super chip, they're gonna get their own. China has their own chip fab in-house. There is a company in China that produces CPUs and GPUs exclusively for the Chinese government and the Chinese military. So with that being said, it's just more of who can get the information to their chip fab so that they can make that in-house. And when they do, game on. You'll have two competing companies making a similar super chip. I'm sure they wouldn't do it exactly like the Thor super chip. They would do it their own way. That seems to be Chinese motto, is that they'll produce what you got, but they'll change it just a little bit so it's now theirs, right? it's like it's like an NFT. You change one pixel, and it's no longer the same JPEG. And you can remint it. Right, Skynet's officially online. Bring on the Terminator, right? It's like I need a self-driving ad on my Nissan Patrol. Right. And Inno3D, with all of these, has announced their 40 series is here. So Hong Kong, Inno3D, the leading manufacturer and pioneering of high-end multimedia components and innovation, proudly announces its Inno3D 40 series, guys. Bam! So this will be pretty decent. And again, they're showing it off with a 16 and a 12 gigabyte. They are launching these simultaneously. I was hoping that they would do a TI and a non-TI variation. That would make sense. The way that they're doing this one is like, it almost feels like, if I had to take a guess, we have 4080s. But they don't clock up properly, and it doesn't matter if they've got more memory or a faster clock speed on the memory. It can't sustain it because the core clock can't hit high enough in frequency in order to make it work with the higher clock speed on the memory. So you got to think of it like your engine and your transmission relationship, right? You have a power curve of your engine, and you have a power curve of your transmission. And where those two lines kind of intersect in their curve, that's where you get all of your pulling power from, right? So if you're down, if your horsepower off the core is down, and you're trying to clock up, well, it's still gonna hit the intersect on there in the same spot, right? But it'll be lower, because your core clock speed's down. Now you don't need to put you don't have to put your higher bin memory chips in there. So ones that almost didn't hit the X standard for the GDDR6 memory, they would put that onto something like this, because maybe those memory modules couldn't clock up, those cores couldn't clock up. So they made, instead of just tossing the silica away, and a lot of these foundries are trying to be zero waste, they would have just offered it as a cut down core. Traditionally before, that would have made it into the lower series. So that would have been your 4070 would have been your cut down 4080 that failed, right? Where, they would have made one for every series, but if they had one from a higher series fail, they just cut cores, shut stuff down, and then that would be the lower series. This time they're trying to keep it in the higher series, keep the clocks up as high as they can, keep the memory clocks up as high as they can, but knowing that there's only so much they can do because it's failed in one way or another to hit the higher end stuff. I call them non-bin. They're just they're a 4080, barely barely hanging on. So there'll be the X3 OC, the iChill X3, the iChill Frostbite, which will be your liquid cooling, your high end, your low end, your I'm not sure if they have a hybrid or not, but you'll have your high end, low end of each one of their things. So I'm sure they'll have the 4090 and the 4080. And the iChill Frostbite. If you're doing a water block system, you can get one that's already got it all on there. You don't have to worry about having to unmount and remount anything. It's plug and play. So sometimes I like plug and play. Makes life easy. That's why I don't deal with a lot of water blocking on mining rigs, because air cool is plug and play. That simple. And then one other thing. Something that I kind of came across is the 1X Player Mini Pro. The 1X Player Mini Pro series. If you guys are in handhelds, you guys got kids at all, and you're going to go on a road trip, handheld gaming devices will be your sanity. I might not have kids. I got 2 younger brothers, and I came into the era where they were like little itty bitty handheld games. And my brothers would get rambunctious, and I just handed it to them because it was it was a better car ride if they were quiet. I made the sacrifice as the big brother to go, here, shut up. But I think before they've even come out, I think they've already failed. Now I understand that they are doing this with a AMD Ryzen 7 6800U, which is a mobile variant, which is fine, which means that it's low power usage, which is cool. I like this. So the one player will be announced that it'll be equipped with the Ryzen and a 680M graphics card. So a very cut down AMD mobile graphics card. So it's all low power stuff. So for a console, for a little handheld console, that's fine. I'm perfectly cool with this, right? The available pre-order will be on September 21st. The base model of the Mini Pro starts from the retail price of $11.99. Players can pre-order with $50 deposit and get a 23% off if you pre-order. So you'll pay $19.19 plus tax with a free docking and protection bag. $1,100. I can't get behind a product like that. As much as I like AMD, I don't know if it commands enough to say that that's an $1,100 handheld. I think they're reaching for the stars on that one. Especially if somebody's going to want a gaming console, a little handheld. They're going to be, they've got to compete with Nintendo. I mean, look at the Nintendo Switch set the standard. Kids are going to be the ones that are going to be using this mostly. Not that, people that are as old as me or in their 20s or in their 30s, in their 50s, in their 60s. It doesn't mean that nobody else is going to use it. But you're going to find that a lot of the people that are going to be using this are going to be in, grammar school, junior high, and high school. That's going to be the demographics of a lot of these handhelds. That is not what you're going to find a parent going to go, oh yeah, let me get you that $1,100, that $1,200 handheld, when the Steam Deck is $700. Or the Nintendo Switch is what, $600? So I mean, you're really kind of hitting into a market where I don't know how well this is going to go. I think this is going to go as well as AMD now selling vintage socks, right? Yep, AMD is now selling tube socks. Do you want an AMD sock that has the old school logo with the old school color? You can get it now. That's about it. That's going to go just as well as the bike that AMD used to sell. It's like, why are you selling these stupid little things? I mean, what? You're gonna sell socks? You're gonna try to be like Intel? Because Intel sold socks, you got to? I don't get it. What up, Crypto Nico? What's going on, Rian? It's like, I just got a notification from the Weather Channel that Ethereum went green. Well, everything will go green. Everything kind of follows that sweet busy bit, guys. Let's see here. No. Ethereum did not go green. It's still at 1356. It's following Bitcoin perfectly. You guys want to see, but bam. Market's red. And if you guys don't really know, market going red as we go into October is actually historically normal. Believe it or not, most of the time, most markets dip in October. Don't ask me why. I don't understand all that jive, right? You'll have to wait until tomorrow. Where we're going to have Jay, the weatherman, on here. We'll have a special guest. We're going to talk about all the macro conditions that make up what's going on today with all the mining markets, all the traditional stock markets. So if understanding why you're losing money on a macro level, it has any of importance to you, please stick around for tomorrow. You will be highly informed on understanding why it is the market's giving you a coupon to buy more. Yo, buy the dip. Not financial advice. Oh, God. Yeah, no. Ethereum never went green. But it's funny that the Weather Channel app started talking about Ethereum. You know that Bitcoin won when all these other fucking apps and stuff like that are talking about shit coins. This is gonna burn Weather Channel for putting that on there. Either that, somebody paid them to put that there. Either way, it is not economically green. They are just disproportionately pushing it off, saying it's not them doing it now. The hardware that they're going in, going, look, this is the hardware we're using, and this is all the power our hardware uses. And then they're like, don't look at the rest of the picture, guys. We're just looking at this one little thing, guys. And when you zoom out, you're like, wow, this is a big server facility. How much are they paying cooling? Oh, that's not us, though. Really? So, no, I do not agree with them saying it's green. I think that they're using relatively about the same amount, just that they're playing a little 3-card Monty and how they're showing how they want to show that they're using power. Not showing the data center that it's sitting in. They're just going to look at the machine that they rented. It's like big picture versus little picture, That's all it is. It depends on how you want to manipulate the data to show that you're right. It's like any product on YouTube, right? I can sit there and be like, X product is going to do this. Cut, come back. See, look what it did. And it's like, that's the movie magic right there, the market of manipulation. So it'll show that they are really not utilizing any different power. They might have saved 20-30% more on power versus what they were already utilizing. Does that mean they're green? No. Does it mean they're more energy efficient? Yes, I'll give them the energy efficiency, but they are not green. They will never be green, just because unless they can sit there and run these nodes on a Pi that utilizes 5 bloody watts? Yeah, I don't think so. But I could run a Bitcoin full node on a Raspberry Pi. Can't do not even one client on a Raspberry Pi. I'm just saying. So one's a little bit less efficient than the other. I'm just saying. And now these guys got to have 2 clients to do this. Double the pleasure, double your fun, right? But I gotta sneeze. Oh, allergies. Oh, allergies. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Pepe. Every time I sneeze, my little kitty here, Pepe, runs up to me and meows. Like he's saying, bless you. You sneeze too. I saw that. Whatever's here is in the air right now. Right? Oh, that Pepe. But I am interested in what some of the technology that's coming out for Nvidia with the Omniverse and what it can do for phones and tablets. Because if they're running a managed service through them, you theoretically could get upscaled video directly broadcasted right to your phone. So some of the stuff will have some cool implementations, not to us at first. It'll be down the road. But I see some of the implementations of where they're putting all of this stuff too. Oh man, my nose is all junked up now. Woo! Went for a run yet earlier today. Oh man, now my sinuses are all junk. Got too much fresh air. Oh, Integra guy. What up? What up? So, does anybody have any comments or questions before I head up out of here? Because man, I gotta really blow my nose. Any other comments or questions? And while you're thinking of a good comment or question, if you just showed up here, definitely, guys, smash that lizardy like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Hit the little bell notification, or make sure it's on. And this way you're notified all these awesome videos. If you're new here, free Discord down below. Love to have you, any one of you guys, part of the Discord. It is free to join, guys. Love to have you there. If you're an OG here and you're like, hey, I'd like to be able to do donations to you, my man, I do have Patreon. Link down below. You could be the second person in the Patreon. And the only person that can make that decision is you. I'm just saying. But I got 3 different tiers in there. The $5 tier, little tip jar, basically. I've got the little hashers, which is kind of the mid-tier on there, and then I got the pseudo hashers. The pseudo hashers will be in VIP with benefits, little perks that I'm a little perk that I'm giving only the VIP tier. So the pseudo hasher tier is the only one that gets this, and they will be the first ones into the facility. If you are in the little hasher tier, you will be after that, and then if you're $5 tier or anything, or just part of the Discord, once we go public, and then it'll be offered to you guys to be part of the family mind, guys. And you can send your gear to us. We will keep good close watch of everything, guys. Your rigs will be in great hands. You'll have full control over your rigs, guys, and we'll try to get you the best power rates possible. Period. Period. I want to make sure all of you are profitable. I want to make sure that you guys are all given a fair chance to keep your rigs going. It's like, yes, we are all home miners at heart, but sometimes we need to just band together to get through rough times, or just have longevity in the mining facility. And when you send your rigs to the family mine, you become part of the family. And with that, guys, I don't see. It's like, how many GPUs do you think Red Panda have? Oh God, That's hard to say. Yeah, I think he's, man, I don't know. Red Panda 250. Yeah, I want to say he's probably closer to 300. Closer to 300, I say. Integra, have you heard of Bar Mining? No, I have not. They have M30 plus pluses for under 3K. I have not heard of Bar Mining, so I'll be 100% honest with that one. So I've got nothing good or bad to say about them. Any other comments or questions before I head up out of here? Give you guys just a few moments as I get myself a swig of that high quality H2O. So right now the only thing that is profitable is ASICs, really, with the whole ETH, the whole thing that ETH going to proof of staking did not affect Bitcoin. I'm just saying, Bitcoin's unscathed from this. It went on like it was a zero-sum game. So it depends on what you're trying to mine. That Bizity bit. No, yeah, it's going to be the dawn of ASICs at this point. I think for right now, we're going to see a big drop-off in GPU mining, a big drop-off in GPU mining interest. And there's somebody knocking on the door again. So yeah, I believe that that's why even for myself, I'm slowly switching my farm over to ASICs, Bitcoin ASICs only. I'm not dealing with fucking shit coins. It's gonna be the sweet Bizity bit. But that's just going to be my game plan because I've got to make sure the facility stays open. So from a business standpoint, I know what I need to do. For you guys, you're going to be the ones that are going to be helping supporting a lot of these other coins, right? You're going to be helping to support these projects, and it's going to be it'll make money. It's just going to take a while before that whole essence comes back. But if you are mining with us at the Family Mine, it puts you into a better position, in my opinion. You could take that for what it's worth. You'd be basically, depending on, I want to say you'll be between 8 and 9 cents a kilowatt hour all in. But we'll have to wait until we get you guys in to determine where you guys really reside at. But I can say you'll be in between 8 and 9 cents a kilowatt hour. So I mean that puts a lot of people in a better positioning. Most people, after the service charge from the electric company and everything, you're going to be no less than, you'll probably be no less than 11.5 cents a kilowatt hour, all the way up to about 15 cents a kilowatt hour minimum. If you're in a really shitty area like California, places like that, you're going to be exponentially higher. You'll be at 50 cents a kilowatt hour. Ugh. 50 cents a kilowatt hour until that you have to use electricity only, and then they tell you you can't run your electricity today. Yeah. Big problems over in California. But yeah, I mean, myself, I'm going to make sure that I'm into the ASIC field. This way, you guys can run your equipment safely with us. It helps you guys out long term. Oh, yeah, you're in one of those areas where all you guys don't produce enough energy in house. I don't understand how that works. You got volcanic action out there, and you don't have you don't have steam power. That part blows my mind that you guys don't produce so much power out there that your power isn't damn near free, mine and hodl. That always blew my mind. You know, it's like you have an unlimited energy source. An unlimited energy source. How are they sitting there and making all this big power? Steam engines. What's the most effective way to make steam that we have so far? Nuclear. Next best thing we have? Volcanic. I don't know why Hawaii doesn't tap into the volcano and just tap into a resource that will produce an unlimited amount of energy. What's going on, Golden Wolf? He's like, good afternoon. He's like, I keep seeing crypto influencers charged by the SEC. Who? I know, Golden Wolf, the volcano is a god, and God creates energy. That would be God's power powering the island. I think that's the most responsible thing that they can do with their God. Be like, God, we need you to do some work for us. 57 cents per kilowatt hour is putting us into the poorhouse. We can't do this. Be like, God said, let there be light, guys. Carl. and all they would, it's like, it's kind of funny that how easy it would be for them to be able to create energy there. And that Hawaii would be the most energy independent state in the world. But it looks like El Salvador will beat will beat Hawaii in that one, because El Salvador is currently building a full-out volcanic hydro facility. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then they're going to sit there and put the Bitcoin miners in there too. Proper usage. Yo, what's up, Next Level Tech? Thank you for the donation the other day too, my man. Thank you so much. He's like, yep, I started buying the S19 XPs. Yeah, I've been getting the WhatsMiner M30 pluses. With those S19s next level, make sure that you don't let those get over 100 degrees. They actually, I don't know how much research you've done on theirs. I'm certain that you've probably done your fair share of research. But the S19s do not like heat at all. I've seen too many people having issues with broken hash boards as of lately. That's something that I'd be able to fix. I'm trying to get the test equipment in. As soon as I get the test equipment in, I'll be able to offer that service to all of you guys with anywhere from S9s to S19s, from like a lot of the different WhatsMiner generations. So I will have a ARC testers here. I just gotta sit there and basically send the funds out and then wait for shipment. Like, don't forget, USA also has a volcano. Oh, yeah, we could be tapping into that stuff, too. He's like, Next Level Tech. Yeah, there's third-party cooler systems that I've seen take their temps down. Yeah, there are. There's some good solutions out there. I don't know how down and dirty you want to get with your S19, But immersion mining is amazing for them. You will like double the lifespan of your S19 doing full immersion on them. But I don't know how much down and dirty you want to get with your S19s. It's some of the reasons why I went with the WhatsMiner M30 Pluses, is that they can handle a whole hell of a lot more heat. My facility was at, this was before I added the second fan in there, the second big industrial exhaust fan. I was at about 119 degrees Fahrenheit, and my WhatsMiner M30 Pluses were still chugging away. They were sitting at an average temp of about 98 degrees, and they're good until 110 before they will thermally shut down. So, yeah. Mine and Hodl for right now, yes. BBT will shut his rig down because he's got so many of them. It doesn't make sense to burn the electricity. He during the 2018 bear market, BBT shut his mine down then too. So this isn't the first time he's shut down everything. It's better to shut stuff down than have a $20,000 electric bill. Right? Yes, I did say $20,000 electric bill, and I'm sure it's higher now. That was like the last time I'd ever heard him speak about it, and that was a few years ago. It was like $18,500 each month in electricity alone, versus a couple of grand for the landlord on rent. If you're gonna lose money, you might as well just lose the rent money versus all the electric that you're burning too on top of it. Next level. I'm just getting started. I'm preparing for a potential 400 amp soon, so I got a lot to do if the deal goes through. Nice. Don't get a 400 amp panel. 400 amp panels are expensive. What I'm doing, because the 400 amp panels are so damn expensive and they're so hard to get your hands on, they are hard to find, and it's what's driving the price on them up. Take a look at doing two 200 amp panels and splitting the load up between two panels. It'll get you to exactly what you're wanting. It's the same breakdown, so nothing changes. It's just that you're going to save a few $100s versus one 400 amp panel. I've looked into the 400 amp panels because I'm needing to upgrade some services at the facility, and I'm going to be doing 200 amp panels because of it. Oh, bro, if it's already set up, then yeah, nice. Yeah, we have our transformer already set up, and now I've got to put I have to put the amp panels in. So I don't have the amp panels, so you're actually one step ahead of me. It's already there. You're lucky you got a 400 amp panel. If you ever need to upgrade from there, as of right now, 400 amp panels are like over $1,200 for a 400 amp panel. I can get a 200 amp panel for $300 something a panel, $400 a panel, versus $1,200 for one. So it just doesn't make sense to upgrade with 400 amp panels at this point. But awesome that you've already got all that stuff. That is baller, dude. You're like one step above me with what I'm expanding into, but I'm already have a facility that I've already been running in for a few months, and now we're expanding into the second half of it now. So we're opening up for a lot of power. Yo. And I'm looking at upgrading my transformer too. So I will be getting out of I have a 100 amp transformer right now, and I am going to put a 400 amp, or no, I'm sorry. It'll be a 300 amp, 480 volt transformer that will be able to take in line right off the pole, right into the transformer. So basically it'll be 55,000 watts or something like that I've got to step down. So I'll have all the step down stuff for it. And then it'll be going out in there. So I should have theoretically like almost like 3/4 of a megawatt if I can, if the electric company lets me drop it in. So I'm going to be upgrading to something huge. Golden Wolf, Square D200. Yes, that's what I would be doing. The Square D200 amp panels. Oh man, that sucks. Next level. You're taking over an X mining location. Oh man. Yes, Vincent. That's almost a megawatt. Man, most people hate to see my electric bill rate now. Oh yeah, Vincent. Big boy power. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I bet. I bet with the property being in litigation now, hopefully it doesn't take too long, and hopefully it doesn't put a bad taste in the landlord's mouth about mining, and hopefully he does not take it out on you. But best of luck on that next level. I hate to see people have issues because there was dumb people ahead of you. It's like, oh, it's like you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, you know? Ugh. Nemesis is completely mad with power. Yeah, I can get that way. I can get that way. So does anybody else have any other comments or questions before I hop up out of here, guys? Thank you, everybody that's been here for this whole time. Thank you for all the excellent questions. But if you ain't got anything left, certainly if you're just sliding up in here, smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, guys. Share this video out on your favorite social media. Helps me get the word out to all more of you awesome people out there. Love to have each and every one of you part of the community or as part of the family in the mind. Yo! Do you have the Sword of Swords? Do you have the Sword of Omens? Next level. Hashtag ramen and spec mine. Yes, that is so true. I've already started doing some spec mining. And as you're sitting there doing these spec mining, you watch the profitability just evaporate in front of you, and you're like, "Oh, damn it! Damn it!" All right, guys. Well, since you guys got well, to answer it, I would say the Sword of Omens. Jason. With that being said, guys, thank you all for being here. All that good stuff. I'll be here tomorrow with my man Jay, the weatherman. We'll be talking about that macro environment. We'll be talking about why we're all losing money so badly. Where's all this blood going? We'll be talking more about that tomorrow. So if understanding a little bit of the financial world might be your cup of tea, certainly love to have you over there. Let's take a look at this macro environment together. Get some good questions from my man Jay. Any kind of questions whatsoever. We'll try to get through all of your questions as we can get them. All that good stuff. So with that being said, peace out. And of course, stay savage. And, oh yeah. Jay, for you, everybody spam the chat with FA. I need FAs in the chat, guys. because you guys are rated F for fucking awesome. So with that being said, guys, peace out. Stay savage. Yo!